A Knight's Tale, 2001. This is an American medieval action comedy. It's directed by Brian Helgeland, who also wrote it and produced it, and it's based loosely on the Canterbury Tales, one of the Canterbury Tales, which is called A Knight's Tale. And I'm not sure if I've seen it before, but I don't think I have. If I saw it, it would have been in the early noughties, but I think what happened was because one of the actors in this film is Shannyn Sossamon, and I saw Rules of Attraction and I really liked that. I looked at other films that she starred in and was planning to see more of them, like 40 Days and 40 Nights as well. Not sure I saw that either. Um, I used to write about the films that I saw on a bulletin board at work, but of course, I haven't got records of everything now. Didn't have social media in the early noughties anyway, and didn't, it was probably only about 2006 or 7 that I started blogging about the film reviews. So, um, it's all a bit sketchy in my memory, but having seen it now, I got the chance to see it in the cinema because there was a 4K restoration screening, and I jumped at the chance. I thought, "Have I seen it or not?" Doesn't seem I don't think I did because it didn't feel at all familiar. Maybe I started watching it, maybe it came on telly and I started recording it, but again, if I recorded it, it was on VHS and I never got round to watching it. So the emphasis, I think, in this film is on comedy. Uh, so it's been action, well, yes, I guess it's action as well, but from medieval times, so that's the descriptor given. And I um it's set in the 14th century in Europe mainly. A lot of it seems to be in France, some of it in England, and quite a few of the key characters are from England, but they're in France. And jousting is there's a tournament called jousting. I'm familiar with that because in the 70s, mid 70s, I went to this Great Castle in North Wales with family. We were invited to this mock jousting tournament. My parents didn't like it. My mum really didn't like it. She's not into violence. So, all these horses with riders with these poles trying to dehorse or unhorse their opponents seemed something she just didn't understand why that was entertainment, and I largely agreed. I was very young, but we left early. We'd gone with family friends, but kind of fell out with them, I think, because of all this. So I'm reminded a lot about this through seeing this film, and Good Castles appeared in our family memory more recently because it was used for I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of There during the COVID pandemic when it wasn't possible for that reality television series to be filmed in Australia. So they filmed it in North Wales instead, which was quite amazing. So I saw a little bit of that then in the early 20s. But jousting now, well, that was a bit of a turn off seeing it in this film, but there's a lot more to the film than the jousting. I mean, that's what everything's pinned on because the protagonist, William, who is played by the late Heath Ledger, and memories of him flooded through me when I was watching this film as well. I mean, tragic because he died about 7 years after the release of this film. So it was released 2001, quarter of a century later. It's been screened again, but he died in 2008, in January that year. That was really shocking, awful news. Oh gosh, he could have done so much more, and it's so sad that he's no longer with us. And his character in this film plays uh, William, who's like Thatcher's son, who wants to be a knight, and he masquerades as a knight. So when he's a little kid, he goes along to see something with his father, some sort of tournament. People laugh at him because he wants to, or discourage him, say he can't be. He's like working class, I guess. Um, and well, it's um, through this. There's he meets he meets several English. Um, he's got two friends, but he meets a third friend. Now his two main friends are Roland and Count. Oh yeah, I think um, no, yeah, I think. Oh gosh, I'm going to get this wrong, but one of the um, I don't recognize a lot of the actors, but I know that he's got several friends, several people support him. And Paul Bettany plays Chaucer. Well, he says he introduces himself as Chaucer, Geoffrey Chaucer. Everyone calls him Jeff in this film. But of course, that was part of the Canterbury Tales. I mean, he was a writer. And when we meet him first, he's completely naked. He's like not wearing any clothes, and that's why he attracts attention of William and his friends. But once they clothe him, they do sort of do a deal with him that he helps them out, introduces them at tournaments, and he is a valuable part of the um, masquerading, I guess you'd call it. Now, I won't explain too much more, but he also meets Shannyn Sossamon's character, who she doesn't introduce her name for quite a while, but she's called Jocelyn. So he eventually finds out she's called Jocelyn. He falls head over heels for her. She seems to like him. So there's a sort of relationship. And as I say, I won't explain too much, but I suppose I it reminds me of Rules of Attraction because she was an instrumental part of that film, and her mannerisms, her smile, everything just remind me of a lot of that film. So I suppose I get a fondness for this film through seeing her, seeing Shannyn Sossamon, and also seeing Paul Bettany and several of the other characters because they add a lot of humour. And right at the start, I thought, "Oh my gosh, it's anachronistic." But of course, it's intentionally anachronistic. I mean, there's a lot of songs from, say, the 70s, maybe the 80s, that sort of era, and that adds to the vibe, the humorous side of this film, and the film really grew on me as time went on because at the start I was thinking, might score it around 7.5, but as it proceeded, as Justin, I mean, it is quite central to the story, but there's a lot more, because of the way the relationships, the sort of other things happen, and that added a lot more appeal, and it brought up the score nearer to 9. I'd say I'm gonna score it 8.75 because it had a lot more, appeal. I mean, though it is daft, I mean, you have to be prepared to just be to accept it as a comedy film, and if you can, maybe you'll like it as much as me. It's not like, I mean, I have seen plays based on the Canterbury Tales, other plays, um, and this isn't really like that. Well, it is a sort of tongue-in-cheek version, so, um, I kind of like it for what it is. It's just not something to be taken seriously, and I kind of like the acting. I like the humour, and yeah, that's all I'll say, I think. 8.75, not a bad film, really. I notice it gets mixed reviews. I'm not really surprised by that because some people find this kind of thing appealing, and I do once I realised what it was about and my fondness for the stars. And that's I'd love to know what you think. Thanks for watching. Please like if you like this review. Um, please, thanks for subscribing. Please hit the notification button. And what other film would this be like? Well, I think I will um, put a link to Rules of Attraction since I sort of link it in that way because I I've got a fondness for Shannyn Sossamon. I saw him in several other films as well, like The Sin Eater, or he had a different name in America, The Order, I think, 2003. So, um, that's all I'll say. So, hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Follow the link to see my review of Rules of Attraction. Bye for now.